Hi, I'm Bill Holcomb, and thanks for joining me for another watercolor tutorial. There's not many places in the world you can see a pink sand beach, but Maui in Hawaii is one of them. And that's our subject in today's step-by-step tutorial. Here is a list of today's materials. I have included the sketching process for this one. Now let's get started. The drawing for this one is quite straightforward. Use a ruler for a straight line there on the right hand side, 2/3 of the way up the paper. Then we've got the shoreline and another line where we'll have some white left, some paper, and the beach there is in two sections, one lighter part to the top left, and then the rest is a little darker, as you'll see later. The vacation hut stroke cabin is quite a size. It's quite easy to draw. Just think of your perspective and your lines. You can, of course, use the download sketch, but lightly drawn and not too heavy with the pencil, and it's only a HB. Then we'll have certain doors that are visible at the front there. Little bit of detail on the roof with slats and so forth. At the front section there, that will allow us to put in a few darks for the windows. And then we got various palm trees, have them the trunks bend in towards the ocean. So you can draw those in and start at the bottom of each one. More foliage behind the roof and beyond. You don't have to draw in the palms, but if you wish to, you can do a few light lines. Just a little indication, nothing detailed. And on the right-hand side there, there's a little headland that you can indicate with a pencil line, which we'll be painting in later. So to start with the mixes of colours, at the top we've got some water. Down below here, we've got some Winsor Blue, and we have a weaker version with some water, and then a stronger version above. I'm using my mixing brush for that. Then I use a number 12 brush with some clear water where I want some white clouds and bring that down across the foliage area down towards the roof, and have tissue to hand so that you can take off excess pigment and water, etc. So I'm purposefully leaving some of those areas where I laid down some water so that the blue sky color fuses in to those light cloud areas. So as much as possible, soft edges are being achieved. The stronger version of the blue will mainly be concentrated at the very top. But here and there, if you wish to strengthen certain areas, that's what you would use. A situation where you have more pigment and less water to maintain control. Then dry that off at the edges with a tissue and your hairdryer, and as always, it dries lighter. Then we're mixing up some light red and we have some Winsor Blue because we're going to do the beach hut cabin, and we need a light red and a darker red, as you'll see as we go along. So light red first of all over the whole of the structure. And you can use something like a number 6 brush or a smaller brush if you wish. And then for finer detail, you can drop down to a smaller brush still, something like a number 2. So a darker version of that brown, you could add a little bit of Paynes Grey if necessary to it. And that first underpainting has of course been dried off with the hairdryer, otherwise it would be running all over the place as I drop down the darker colour. So it's not too much involved with regard to the building, just a little bit of detail, quite easy to draw and paint. Now we have the various greenery surrounding the building, and we've got some Winsor Yellow going on there, as well as mixing into the Winsor Blue that we had down below to give us two greens. Light green first of all, working from light to dark. And I'm painting around what will be the tree trunks for the palm trees, trying to preserve as much of that white cloud above as possible. Then we got some Winsor Blue and light red at the bottom there, because remember that distant headland? I want to draw that in as a bluey grey colour, and it will, as always, lighten much more once it dries. Then for the trunks of the palms, we've got our brownish colour, light red, a little bit of Winsor Blue as necessary, and then you can do the palms. If you feel more comfortable, you might want to dry off those trunks with your hairdryer so that you don't smudge. I'm trying to keep the palm of my hand away so that I can make rapid progress for you. And of course, I do keep the paper in one position throughout the video to make it easier for you to see what's going on rather than keep twisting the paper one way, another way. But you at home can twist it as you wish if it's much easier for you. And you don't have to have your palette in the way like I do for the video. These particular palms are a special shape, and like queen palms, pharaoh palms, you can just indicate a few of those, enough to tell a story. Now that the underpainting has dried sufficiently, whilst we've been doing the palms, you can drop in your dark greens. And do remember to leave some of the lighter underpainting here and there, so that you do get some variation going on in between. And as it gets further away from us in the distance, it will get lighter still. We're quite a long way through the painting, and now I'm just darkening up some more at the bottom section of the foliage. And we have a little green area like dunes, etc., to the left-hand side there near the cabin, coming up to the cabin. So start with your light color and then drop in your darker, your green mixture. And later on, we can darken that even more. Now we're going to paint in the sand. What will give you a nice pinkish color is your Scarlet Lake mixed with plenty of water. I do not like to use the opaque colors like a Chinese white to mix with a red to get a pink. In reality, although they're called pink sand beaches here in Maui, Hawaii, when you read up on it, wiki and so forth, they say they're not actually pink, they're really red. But because at times the sunlight and they appear fainter, water upon them, etc., then they look more pink. So they do refer to them as pink beaches. But as you can see, if you have plenty of water on there first, with that weak Scarlet Lake, then you do get a pink finish. There's a little bit there where I've left the white of the paper, where the ocean has been coming up onto the beach, crashing and creating a little bit of a frothy area with water. So that's why I've left that area, and we'll give more attention to that later. Once the ocean is painted in, this will stand out even more. Because it's all relative. At the moment, it hasn't got anything to compare with. It's only got the white paper. But that will come much more to life soon. Long way through the painting, just a few minutes to go. This is well worth doing and practicing with. Just a small piece of paper, like 9 by 6, something like that, or you can do a 7 by 5. And then dry off, and as you can see, much lighter. Now we're making good use of the Cobalt colors. We got some, the Cobalt Turquoise, first of all, with plenty of water. Start on this occasion in the distance, and then come down. On this occasion, we do have a fairly strong distant ocean where the clouds are casting shadows in that area. It isn't always the case, but it is on this one. And remember to be conscious of any excess pigment and water on the side of your paper near the tape, so that when we dry things off, we don't get creep back. You see, I'm mopping it up as I go along. You can use either a tissue or a thirsty brush thirsty brush in the sense that it's just damp instead of really too wet. You can dry it off with a tissue, partially dry it. And then that foamy area, we've got a little bit of shadow going on the left side. And you could also run a little bit of water down there if you wish to fuse it in onto the sand. Up to you. Now we're darkening the ocean. We got a combination of the Winsor Blue and the Cobalt Blue on top of the Cobalt Turquoise. And leave little gaps here and there. As you can see, I'm painting so that I've got variation going on. And as you get closer to the bottom there, you don't have to come right up to the shoreline with that stronger color. Now I'm using a flat brush, a strong one with bristles, normally used for acrylics and oils, because it enables me to dig into the paper a little bit with some water on it and do a little bit of lifting. I've got clean tissue to hand. I dab on the water, dig in a little bit, then lift, because I want soft edges. Now, just a little bit of detail on the beach, the sand there, partially using the scraping technique. We got that little division going on with the much lighter top section near the dunes, and then the darker section for the rest of the beach. So I'm just giving a little bit of texture to the sand, using the scraping technique. Not too much pigment. Don't want to lose the underpainting, just have that showing through here and there. And you can see when I pick it up from the wells in the palette that I'm barely touching the pigment, just taking up a tiny amount on the brush. For a few seagulls in the sky there, an odd number, just mix up some blue and red, make a grey colour, and position them as you wish. And here we are, finished painting. And I hope you've enjoyed that, and we'll have a go. And I look forward to seeing you next time.